Last time we spoke about the sacred pause and the season of inner winter when life calls us inward gently and asks us to rest. But what happens when you don't know whether it's a pause or something else? Because it really can be something else. Let's talk about that today in Sacred Disruption podcast. So, because the culture we live in does not know how to pause. It tells you that stillness is laziness, that not knowing is failure, that slowness is weakness. So when life asks you to slow down, what do you do? What do? We panic. And when we feel stuck, we push. Today, I want to talk about the difference between the sacred pause and the experience of being stuck. One is whisper from your soul, the other is a block in your system, and both are trying to teach you something. So, how do we tell the difference? When you're in a sacred pause, you might feel quiet invitation to slow down, something like a soft inner knowing that it's not the time yet. It's stillness, but it's not that heavy, full of shame stillness. It's gentle, kind of gentle disinterest in performing or proving. Sense that life is rearranging something inside you. It could feel like space for reflection, even if it's uncomfortable, and often it is really uncomfortable. It is this kind of feeling of deeper clarity starting to emerge slowly, gently. But on the other hand, when we are stuck, it often feels like spinning thoughts with no clear direction. Your mind just does not stop. We are trying to move but feeling blocked. Or it could be doubt layered with guilt or self-judgment, numbness or low-grade anxiety. It's often this is very, very common feeling when being stuck. Also resisting stillness, but also resisting motion, or feeling like you should know what to do, but you don't. Either way, it's heavy energy that lingers without any clarity. The sacred pause feels like it's holding you. Stuckness, on the other hand, feels like you are trying to hold everything alone. Maybe you slowly can feel the difference. But let's go a bit deeper. Let's look at the voice and the texture of stuckness. To be sure, that's stuckness when you feel it. Stuckness does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers through distraction or hides under busyness. It often shows up as a vague sense of disconnection, like you are moving but not really going anywhere. Or like your mind wants action but your body won't follow. Stuckness can sound like I don't know where to start. This is very, very common one. Or I feel like something is off, but I can't name it yet. Why can I just not do the thing? I I won't do it, but I can't. Please remember, stuckness is not a lack of motivation. It's often a lack of internal coherence, misalignment between what you are doing and what you are really ready for. On the other hand, the sacred pause doesn't always feel peaceful, as you may be assumed. If it can feel empty, yes, quiet, yes, maybe even unproductive, but it carries a different kind of silence as stuckness. One that's not heavy with shame, but full of space. It might sound like something is shifting, but I don't know what yet. Or I cannot move forward, not because I'm blocked, but because I know it's not time. Or maybe I don't feel like showing up right now, and I think I need to trust that. This is sacred pause talking to you. It's often misunderstood because our culture doesn't honor stillness unless it's pegged as rest after exhaustion, never as a wise beginning, anyway. The sacred pause is the space before clarity, the soil before the sprout, if you want, the moment before the yes. It can feel quiet but intentional, slow but not stuck, very often emotionally tender and spiritually full. It's less about doing, more about sensing, restoring, listening. There you have all the layers, the physical layer, so less about doing, more about sensing, restoring, listening to the body, spiritually full, emotionally tender, slow but not stuck, quiet but intentional. We often think that this sacred pause is passive, but it's not. It's very active in its own way. Something inside is composting, rearranging, preparing. You don't need to rush it. Actually, I would say, please don't rush it. You don't need to make it productive. It's not about your decisions. You just need to trust that life knows the rhythm, even when your mind doesn't. And this is the hard part, really. But maybe you're listening and wondering, what if I'm not actually in a sacred pause? What if I'm just avoiding something? What if this is just my fear talking to me? What if this stillness is just my fear convincing me it's rest? That's a very powerful question, and only you can answer it, really. But here is something I would like to give you to reflect on. Fear shrinks your body. Pause opens it. Fear feels tight and closed, like you are curled inward and trying not to fail. The sacred pause, even if it's uncomfortable, and it's often very uncomfortable, feels like space, room to breathe, room to listen. You can also ask to discern even with more clarity. Does the stillness feel aligned or avoidant? Do I feel vaguely honest inside it, or like I'm hiding? Am I telling the truth or rehearsing a justification? These questions really need the highest level of honesty from you. If you are trying to convince yourself, anyway, so this is I find this really helpful. If you are trying to convince yourself it's a pause, it's probably stuckness. But if your body softens, even in the unknown, you might already be in the right season. But why we get stuck? We don't get stuck because we're lazy. We don't get stuck because we lack discipline or ambition. We get stuck because something inside us is misaligned or something outside is overwhelming. Something inside is misaligned or something outside us is overwhelming. I would like to give you a few most common reasons why we get stuck so you can get to know your stuckness better. First one, I would say, is energetic overload. You have been pushing for too long. You're tired, but you haven't fully stopped. Your system doesn't have capacity for forward motion anymore. And so it locks up. Not because you're weak, but because you have been strong for too long without rest. Your nervous system doesn't ask. It's here to protect you, so it protects you. It's just shut down when it has been enough. Next, what comes to mind is inner conflict. Really, next very common reason. Part of you wants to move forward, another part is not convinced yet. So they pull against each other and you feel stuck. It's like you're pushing brakes and speed pedal at the same time. So they pull against each other and you feel stuck. This isn't indecision anyway. It's a call for integration. The next reason is very interesting one. Also very common. Disconnection from desire, I name it, or I call it. You're chasing something that no longer belongs to you. What I mean by that, you know this shiny, smart goals you set for yourself few weeks, months, even years ago. And you're trying hard to fulfill it. You're performing to get those things done. You're performing instead of aligning. And stuckness becomes your soul's way of saying, not this, not like that anymore. I want to mention one more, and this is very, this one I know really intimately from my own life. I call it subconscious loyalty. You are loyal to an old identity, an outdated role, a story you haven't fully released or a story you haven't fully finished on all levels. With that I mean we often finish a story or a project mentally, physically, but not emotionally. And then part of you is afraid that moving forward means leaving something or someone behind. Stuckness can be really unprocessed grief in disguise. So, now we are here on this turning point. And I'm here to tell you, you don't need master plan for this. You don't need more motivation. You don't need any strategy or next to-do list to manage your stuckness. All you need in this very moment is honesty. First thing is name what's real. Say it to yourself. Say it out loud. The truth unclenches the system. Look at yourself and say, and just admit, I'm stuck. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. And then come back to your body. Where do you feel the stuckness? It's heavy. It's frozen. It's armored. It's red, it's black, it's hot, it's cold, it's rough, it's shiny. What does it need from you? Movement, as opposite of stuckness, begins in your fascia, in your breath, in your posture, not in your calendar, not in your to-do list, not through more performing, more goal setting. And from here, the next step is to shift the smallest thing. We so often underestimate the smallest thing. My clients often react to this like, oh my God, I feel like preschool kid learning to handle my own life. And it's really like that, because we underestimate the smallest thing. We just pass through them, and then we ask ourselves why I feel so stuck. So shift the smallest thing. Drink water. Open the window. Walk to the edge of the room. Let your next move be real, not performative. What I mean by that, a real move is something you feel, you listen, and you let your body lead. You lead yourself from within, not from outside expectation of yourself or someone else. This is performance. So let your next step be real, not performative. By saying that, I would like to add one more thing. Let movement, so as opposite of stuckness, mean presence. You don't need to make progress, quote unquote, make progress. You just need to return to coherence, and the next step will come from there. Stillness that's honored becomes readiness. If you're stuck, if you're feeling like nothing else made sense and you wasted all your life or something from what we named today, yet another plan, to-do list, or strategy will not bring you anywhere near you. Stillness will. Honored stillness brings you to readiness. If you're still here with me, maybe you are in your own pause, or maybe you have been stuck for a while and something inside you is just now starting to speak. Wherever you are, I want you to know this. You're not broken. You are not late. You are just here. And this is where movement begins. Not from force, not from strategy, but from the moment you tell the truth. If this episode brought something alive in you, I invite you to deepen the experience even more. Read the companion blog post, please. It's called Why You Feel Stuck and What It Is Really Asking For. You will find it on my blog, and my blog is Between Us. You find it on my website, like Between Us. That's the blog. And there's one more thing. You can sit with the reflection card number 4. When Nothing Moves is the name of the card. It includes an audio note that gently leads you back to your body. You find all the links to the blog post and to the card in the show notes below, as always. And until next time, please trust your rhythm, trust your pause, Look your stuckness into the eyes, feel it, and when the time comes, trust your movement too.